Hi Todd, good morning. It's Nakimbe. I hope you are well. Just wanted to do a quick walkthrough for the back panel access to your app. What you want to do is go to login.mapdim.com/login. You don't need to put in www or https:// because then it won't work. In the username section, you're going to put the name of your app, the app code, which is 101 Rebel 1017. The passwords have been sent to you by our submissions department. And then when you get in, you will have access to all of the customer customizable features for your phone. All the coding and everything has been programmed into your app to make it user friendly and easy for you. So here we have 4 tabs. We've got functionality, content, appearance, and publish. You don't ever want to do anything with the publish section, by the way, but those are the first ones. Then you have your messages here, your QR codes, analytics, your account, and help desk. So when we go to the functionality tab, these are all the live tabs that are active in your app right now. This is actually not supposed to be there. Let me get that out of there. So you've got home, live, rock, listen live, etc. Over here you have some edit buttons, but you don't really want to do anything with that. This just allows you to change your icon if you want to, but we're not going to do that. And on the right hand side you will see some inactive tabs. These are your gallery, video, about, etc., etc. And the reason these are here, the reason they are inactive, is because Apple has a very stringent approval process, and there are some things they like to see, some things they don't like to see. So we deactivated anything that they don't typically like or find useful. If you want to put any of these things back on, of course you can. All you have to do is toggle it. So for example, if we want your gallery to show live in the app, you just toggle it, and then you notice that it shows up here. Now let's say we don't want our gallery to be the very first thing the very first tab available to your customers or your listeners, on your app. Then we can always just grab it and move it. Now I don't even know if your gallery is populated with pictures, so I'm going to take it off, and it will show up here in the inactive section again. So that's just a quick look at the functionality. The content is where you are actually able to program things on the different functionality tabs, and I know you've already done this with one of your other apps. So if your address just changed, here's the About tab, Home, you just easily fill that in, no big deal. I was just going to tell you that there's a background for your app, and if one of your graphic designers wants to make changes, they can. However, it is extremely tricky, and I would not advise it unless they have experience doing graphic design work for a multitude of mobile devices with different sizes. It's going to look very awkward. So we have specific graphic designers trained to make the specifications for the different types of mobile devices that are out there. And again, these are just some of the other tabs. The About tab, you can fill in some information here. Contests, any contest announcements that you might have. Send in a photo. I think I mentioned that to you before. If ever you do something that's on location, you want your listeners to take pictures and upload them because it gives your business more of a personal feel. The gallery, these are where you'll put pictures. Oh, there are no pictures in your gallery yet. So if you wanted to, you can either connect it, you can have it custom, you can connect it to your Flickr, Picasso, or Instagram if you have one, or you can just click the Add Gallery, browse, and upload photos. You have an option as to how your photos show up. Are they going to show up on your app as a grid, or will they show up in a cover flow where all the pictures just sort of slide through? So let's get out of that. There's the newsletter if you want people to sign up to your newsletter so you can communicate with them in that way. These are all of the most popular email platforms available to you, so you can connect to it if you want to. Here is news. This is the scrolling tab that you see at the bottom of your app. And you can select what kind of information you want to show up there. So here it's just anything in Google related to music, and you can connect it to your Twitter, Facebook, etc. Advertise. You may want to change this, but this is just if anybody is interested in advertising with you, they can quickly fill out a form that will go to your website address here. I would also suggest you do this for phone-in requests. I'm not sure when people will want to, how quickly you'll be checking, and or maybe we can do something where it goes right to the email address of some of the disc jockeys, for example. But you can also add a form where people can send in music requests, or perhaps you can even engage your customers, your listeners rather, sorry if I keep saying that, engage them to maybe introduce you to some new music. Again, the whole purpose of having an app is to increase engagement and loyalty. Live rock, let's see what's here. I'm not even sure. Oh, I think this is probably your, I don't know. Here's a host page with all of the different hosts and title shows. You can fill that in if it's not already there. On air. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here are the different disc jockeys. Messages. These are when you will send push notices to your listeners, and we'll talk about that later. Videos. If you guys have a YouTube channel, you can connect it there. A walkthrough. This is just an opening screen that will, when people first log in for the very first time, only if they have an iOS, like an Apple phone, they'll get this message. It says, "Welcome to Rebel," blah blah blah. You can change it. Again, Android users won't see this, and people will only see it for the very first time when they log in. It's just an introduction. Tells people how to use your app. Chat. Oh, this will be comments. We'll get to that in a second video. Contact us is pretty simple. Listen live. This is a link to your Listen live stream. I was reading in some of your comments for Android, I believe, and one person was saying that you can't listen live and scroll around the app at the same time, and they'd like it to run all the time, but that's additional. So that's something that people might want to know. They can just fool around with some of the other tabs and then just keep it listening live. And the Rebellion, again, you can go in here and edit and change that information, and then you can also link everything to your social media. Appearance. Okay, so for the appearance, I really wouldn't mess around too much with this. Again, they've given you access to this, however, it can be really tricky, so I would just kind of ignore this. If you have specific questions, feel free to give me a call, but yeah, I wouldn't fool around with this too much. And then background images, as I mentioned before, they should be specific for different app types. And again, I would not mess with this section. Publish, again, don't mess with that section. So really, the only two sections that you really should concern yourself with are the functionality tab and the content tab. Now here is where it gets exciting. Messages. If you want to send push notices to your listeners to let them know about live on location event, for example, you would just go in here and say, "Hey everybody," forget about the grammar, I don't really have time for that right now. We're holding a live on location event at the Sick Children's Hospital, blah 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 blah. Anyway, you type that in and you can see what it will show up like here, so that you can take a quick look. Decide if you want this message to go to Apple users or your Android users. You can also connect it to Facebook and Twitter, so the messages will go out on those feeds as well. You can have people subscribe to certain lists, so if you want to have like listener VIP where they get notifications for special prizes or special privileges, meet a disc jockey, for example, who knows, lots of things are possible. And you can also segment your listeners who have your app by user groups. You can also target certain locations. Oh wow, so you can see how many people have downloaded your app. 103 people on Android and 14 people on Apple. That's pretty cool already. I wonder if your press release went out. Anyway, so again, you would just select your users if you want all of them or those just in specific areas. And once you've made that decision, then you've got your content tab. So if you do a push notification, and this is really great for advertising, this is one of the things that we're going to speak about in our follow-up meeting, is you can sell ad space on your app, and you can send push notifications, and you can have a link. So when people open up, it's like a text message. When people open the message, if there's a link, they can click on the link. You can send them to your URL. You can send them to a specific tab in your app if you want to, and then you would just publish and send. So you have an option, you can send it now, or you can have a specific date and send it at a different time. Now, one of the things you might want to do if you already know what kind of messages you want to send, and it's going to be really key for you to keep engaged with your listeners, but not in an overbearing, overwhelming way. But there's a lot of app competition, and if people want to take pictures or videos and they start to run out of room on their phone, they start to delete things, and apps are usually one of the first things that they will remove if the app is not of value. So then it won't be as effective as you want it to be. So I think that's it for the quick walkthrough. Oh, here are your QR codes. If you would like to give people access to be able to, let's say you have a business card and you're handing out your business card and you say, hey, you can download our app. All that person would have to do is scan their QR code, and it will give them the links right to download from Android or Apple or your HTML5, your mobile website. I think that's it for QR codes. And then you have analytics, which is really great because you can find out which tabs people are going to most often, where they're interacting. That way you can find out what it is they're most interested in and give them more of that. I guess there aren't too many analytics right now. It's loading. Anyway, this is something that you can take a look at on your own at a later time. And what else do we have? You've got your account information here. Okay, I think my internet's kind of slow. No big deal. No, there you go. Yeah, your account information is here. This should actually be changed. You can change your password and stuff on here as well. Okay, I'm going to save these changes. I don't know. What is it? Todd at... You might want to go back in and change this. Rebel1.com. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And you wouldn't do anything. Oh, and then we got our help desk. If you have any questions, you can just type it in here. It might just show up as a topic here. If not, just send us an email and one of our developers will get back to you. So that's it for your walkthrough. The next thing I'm going to do is just actually walk you through your app itself. So congratulations.